I'm gonna go grab an energy drink. I'll be back. All right. Okay. I know it's been a little minute since I've been on here. It hasn't been that long. It's been like a week and a half, but I just wanted to come up here and talk to y'all, give y'all some raw thoughts, some raw vents, a little less cuts, because I know people was complaining about all the edits and cuts in my last video. I hear y'all. So I'm gonna calm down on the cuts. I just know y'all attention spans be short. So I be trying to like get out the blank space, but then I realize it's a long form video. It's okay to have cuts. It's okay to have blank spaces. It's just stuff that I'm learning myself, you know? And if your attention span is so cooked where you can't watch a video, you probably shouldn't be watching anyway. So click off if you can't take the space. Anyways, I kind of just wanted to vent, give y'all an update on life, and kind of give y'all some wise words. So right now I'm currently journaling. I'm just sitting at the spot, journaling a little bit, getting some thoughts out. Mentally, bro, I've been doing pretty good as far as like what I've been focused on and like what my goals are. But I'm gonna be very, very honest. I don't know why. Actually, I think I do know why. But my content consumption has been at an all-time high. Like, I've just noticed myself slipping into like short form content, watching a little bit too much, or slipping myself into even just YouTube videos. And it's such a tedious thing when you are pursuing a business in content creation and pursuing growth in content, because it's really hard to find like the balance between the two. Like, how do I find a balance in making videos and looking at videos? How do I, damn, that shit's loud. How do I consider this as like real research compared to me just doom scrolling? So if y'all have any like advice on that, I would definitely like appreciate it from my end, because I'm not about to sit here and act like I know everything. I really don't. That's my biggest like struggle. But something that I do know that I do want to like put you guys on and talk to you about is, let me not get the laws mixed up real quick. Hold on, give me a second. Like I was saying, something I've been learning and something that I have been, I want to say, accepting more is the law of rhythm. Now, I'm really big into spirituality. I'm going to be talking more about that on this channel. The first thing that I want to introduce like into my channel to show y'all is the laws of the universe. If you never learned about the laws of the universe, watch my videos that come. We're going to start breaking them down one by one. And I want to start with the most slept on law, which is the law of rhythm. And what is the law of rhythm? To break it down, simply, the law of rhythm is the law that just like the seasons, like summer, winter, fall, you know what I'm saying? There's seasons in the universe. There's seasons in your universe, in your vibration. That means that no matter how good something is or how bad something is, it must change. Things are constantly in cycles. That means that instead of trying to run away from the pain or run away from the hardships, run away from the bad stuff, run away from anything that doesn't feel good in the moment, anything that doesn't feel like you should be going through in the moment, embracing it instead, and understanding that it's okay to embrace it. That was one thing that it took a long time for me to really accept, because, you know, the normal human response to something that is uncomfortable is to leave. When something isn't going your way, the normal response is to leave. The normal response is to cope. The normal response is to distract yourself with something else or somebody else, or just not putting yourself fully in that feeling. So I don't know what you guys are going through. Everybody has their own thing. You could be going through relationship problems. You could be going through financial problems. Maybe you're going through a whole bunch of stuff. Maybe somebody you love just passed away. Like, things are constantly happening to people every single day. And I just want to remind you guys that unfortunately they're inevitable, and they're going to be inevitable. And you have to realize that usually I'm not gonna sit here and act like I'm Socrates, but usually when bad things are happening, especially when you feel like there's a cycle, that means that there's just it's a constant cycle of just bad stuff happening, bad stuff happening, bad stuff happening. Do not think that God is mad at you, or do not think that the universe is angry at you or anything like that. The universe don't give a fuck about you. The universe does not have a specific feeling towards you, whether you are good or evil. Karma is a thing. If you have karma, then that may come around. Maybe you're dealing with some karma. But if we're talking strictly about thinking that the universe has it out for you just because, that's wrong. The universe never has it out for you. You may have the illusion that the universe has it out for you because you have it out for you because you haven't accepted certain parts of yourself, or you haven't forgiven parts of yourself. And you may say, oh, since I haven't forgiven myself, the universe is mad at me, God's mad at me, the world's mad at me. But that's not the truth. The truth is there is cycles going on right now. There's cycles going on in life. There's cycles going on in your life. And instead of trying to get rid of it, do two things. The first thing that you should do is learn to understand it. Learn to, because people say embrace it, but what does that mean? How do you embrace something that you don't like? How do you embrace something that's uncomfortable? Embrace this, embrace that. Well, the first thing that you do, you sit your ass down like I'm doing right now. You grab notes, you grab a pen, and you jot, okay? The problem is a lot of us are not giving ourselves an outlet to let these feelings out, to let these thoughts out, to let whatever's going on in here out. A lot of us are just bottling it in, or coping with it, or distracting ourselves with content creation, or with pleasure, people, parties, drugs, etc. And it's not the answer. It's not going to actually heal you from the cycles that you're in. Instead, sit down, jot down what you're actually going through, jot down how it makes you feel, and jot down what you're doing to grow, what you're doing to embrace it, what you're doing to accept it. You know, I made the mistake a lot last year, specifically when I lost my grandfather, and when I was just going through a lot of things, whether it was money, whether my car had broken, and a whole bunch of random stuff. Instead of me doing exactly what I'm telling you to do, I probably did the exact opposite, and I ignored it, and I tried to act like it wasn't actually bothering me or affecting me, right? It's very common with black men, you know what I'm saying? Not just black men, but, you know, you get what I'm trying to say. It's very common in certain categories of minorities. But if you do go down that route, all you're going to do is realize and understand that not only did you not make any progress in growing / healing from the problems that you were dealing with, but now you created more. When you ignore what you need to do, when you ignore the lesson that God is trying to teach you, when you ignore the lesson that the universe is trying to teach you, you create more problems, because all you do is do everything except for what you were supposed to do. Now, there's this big dilemma, right, of people trying to find a purpose, of people trying to figure out, like, what am I supposed to be doing with my life? How am I supposed to be doing my life, right? And we tend to romanticize the good things. We tend to romanticize, like, the dream job, or traveling, or going here or going there. Oh, this feels like it's in alignment with who I am and my purpose. But nobody expresses, or at least talks about, how learning and healing from your traumas and learning and healing from the things that you are going through in your cycles is also a part of your purpose. It's also, if not more important than the good parts. Because yes, you want to travel, you want to go experience life, you want to go see the trees and see the animals and just drink mimosas in Barbados and have a good time and whatever. And you should, like, nobody should tell you you're not allowed to do that. But understand that only pursuing the positive parts of yourself is not going to propel you into evolving into the person that you were always meant to be. We are under the illusion, most of us are under the illusion, that we must protect our peace and chase things that only bring us peace, which is in a sense true, right? But protecting your peace does not equal running away from your problems. And that's the problem. And I'm not even trying to rap here, but that's a bar. Protecting your peace does not equal running away from your problems. And that is the problem. What does that mean? That means, like, let's bring it back. In order to embrace other parts of yourself, you must embrace the law of rhythm, okay? The law of cycles, the law of correspondence. You know, that's another law, but they all intertwine with each other, because the law of correspondence just means as within, so without. The law of rhythm just means everything is in a cycle, right? Within you, there's a cycle. Within you, you have seasons. You have your summer, you have your winter, you have your autumn, you have your spring. Outside of you, you have your cycles, okay? So, like I said, the first thing that you really want to do is embrace it. The second thing that you want to do is change it, right? And in order for you to change it, you must figure out what is the point here? What am I supposed to learn here? Because unfortunately, every single thing that happens to you on this planet is a lesson. Everything. Even the things that you don't even think is a lesson. Everything, from the biggest things on the planet to the smallest things, everything's a lesson. And it's your job to decipher that and learn from it, all right? Somebody died. Maybe you were supposed to learn how to grieve. Somebody did you wrong. Somebody hurt you. Somebody cheated on you. Somebody did this, that, and the third. Maybe you were supposed to learn how that felt. Maybe you were supposed to learn, I can't tell you what the lesson is, but I can tell you that there's a lesson to be learned, okay? So when you are going through those bad cycles in your life, understand that it's happening for you, okay? I know you probably heard that before, but you may not have understood it. Everything on this planet is happening for you. Even the bad, fucked up, traumatic things are happening for you. And you must move with the intention and with the intention and borderline delusion of that. Because there's going to be a lot of people around you, whether it's at your job, whether it's at, your family, whether it's whatever, your partner. Well, maybe you shouldn't be with somebody like that. But there's going to be a lot of people around you who don't have that mindset, who don't think that everything is happening for them. They're going to solely believe that things are happening to them. And the only way that you can grow is if you stay away from those people who think everything's happening to them, because you're going to start to believe it yourself. That's what I did. That's what I did last year. I forgot. I lost sight of who I actually was, and I lost sight of who I actually was supposed to become. I kept blaming everyone and everything except for myself for all of the things that were happening to me. And in result, I wilded out. In result, I spiraled, and I tended to, instead of learn the lessons that God was giving me to learn, I ignored the lessons and created more burdens and created more pain and more hardships for myself and for others. That's all that's gonna happen if you choose to ignore / neglect what you're supposed to be doing, okay? So, to make this actually actionable and not just be telling you things that you're probably not going to remember, jot down. This is step one, okay? You're grown, okay? We're at a point where deciphering your feelings and deciphering exactly how you feel and articulating how you feel is not negotiable anymore. Do you want to have children? Do you want to have nieces and nephews? Do you want to be present in people's lives? Do you want to be present in your own life? Then jotting down how you feel, jotting down what you're going through is not a negotiable. You cannot sit here and act like you're going to make progress emotionally or spiritually without genuinely figuring out what is going on in his head. Your brain is a computer. If you never give it time to just sit down and rest and reset, all you're doing is overdriving your brain over and over again. In order for you to understand the law of rhythm and the other 11 laws of the universe, you must, one, be present with yourself in order for you to gain information and retain it, okay? So every morning, give yourself 10, 15, 20 minutes. sit down and decipher what you're actually feeling, what you're actually going through, how you're actually dealing with it, and be honest. You're not gonna be perfect. I'm not expecting perfection. I'm not expecting you to, oh yeah, everything's fine right now, everything's good. And no, I expect you to write some shit on that paper. I expect you to actually talk about your coping mechanisms, talk about your triggers, talk about your responses, talk about your limiting beliefs and the things that are constantly going through your mind. What do you think about when you first wake up in the morning? And what are you thinking about right before you go to bed? And why do you think about those things? Where do they stem from, and where do they derive from? Okay, we find out where they stem from and where they derive from. Now, how do we change that? Do we have to talk to somebody? Do we have to go somewhere? Do we have to say things? Do we have to change habits? Do we have to stop doing these things? When you give yourself time to sit and analyze and break down exactly what's going through your brain and your head, you realize that the world isn't such a scary place anymore. You realize that your brain isn't such a scary place anymore. It's unknown territory that you were always supposed to discover. It's unknown territory that was always there for you, not against you, but you never given yourself the option to explore it. So this is me telling you, maybe you've never heard it before, but it's okay to feel these things. It's okay to be going through a bad period right now. It's okay to be going through pain and hardships and struggles, and it feels like nothing is going your way. It feels like nobody understands you. It feels like nothing is actually happening the way it's supposed to. Relax. Take a deep breath. Realize something. This is a law that's happening right now. This is a lesson that needs to be learned. The law of rhythm. It won't be bad forever. It won't stay bad forever. I promise. I know. Who am I? I'm just a random guy on the internet. I promise, man. But you have to stay locked in with who you are. You have to give yourself the emotional and spiritual time to actually figure out what is happening. If you do that, you'll be fine. But if you choose every single day to ignore it, I can't guarantee you're gonna be okay. I just can't. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm not gonna sell you a dream. I'm not gonna sell you a product. This isn't me speaking from the heart. I didn't write any of this down. So, yeah, I don't wanna make this video too long, but I just wanna say, study the law of rhythm. Figure out what it means to you. Give yourself an outlet before you go outside, before you go on social media, before you call people, before you head to the gym, before you eat your first meal. Give yourself time to just get it out your chest, get it out your brain, jot it down, give yourself the clarity, reset the computer. If that helps, leave a like, send it to somebody that you think could benefit from this video. I have one-on-ones that I do. I have short form content, TikTok, Instagram, all of that. So yeah, y'all be going.